From simple barter to the rise of digital currencies, join us in this quick journey through the history of money. Discover the stories behind coins, paper currency, and the forces shaping our financial world. This is the history of how we trade, exchange, and value currency. Welcome to the evolution of money. Around 3000 BC in ancient Mesopotamia, the earliest evidence of money emerged. Citizens in this region, part of the modern-day Middle East, would inscribe agricultural symbols on clay tablets to represent debts. This marked a significant shift from the physical exchanges of the barter system, introducing a symbolic representation of value. Before the invention of money, people engaged in the barter system, where goods and services were traded directly. A farmer might exchange livestock for vegetables, while another could swap labor or lumber for livestock. These transactions, dating back to 6000 BC, laid the foundation for our modern economy. The concept of bartering was introduced by Mesopotamian tribes to the Phoenicians, and as time progressed, goods like tea, salt, weapons, and food were exchanged in the absence of money. This practice continued to evolve over the centuries, with colonial Americans trading items such as pelts, crops, and muskets. The tale takes us back to the 7th century BCE in Lydia, modern Turkey, and China. It was during this time that the first metal coins emerged, marking a revolutionary step in the history of currency. People were using various things for trade: shells, barley, feathers, even whale's teeth. But each had its drawback. Barley was heavy, whale's teeth couldn't be easily split, and shells were everywhere. Kings had a light bulb moment. Let's make coins from precious metals like gold and silver. These coins had intrinsic value and were guaranteed by an emblem, making them perfect for trade. Having a bunch of metal coins made you powerful too. China crafted its metal coins from bronze, intricately shaped like farming tools. Meanwhile, in Lydia, a groundbreaking alloy of gold and silver called electrum was used to create coins. Notably, Lydian staters were the trailblazers, the first coins to be officially issued by a government body. The concept of metal coins didn't stop there. Ancient Greeks also embraced this innovation, introducing their versions in the late 7th century BC. These early metal coins were more than just currency. They were a symbol of economic evolution and the birth of official government-issued money. But, of course, with success came temptation. Kings figured out they could make even more money by slimming down coins or using cheaper metals. This led to debased currency, coins worth less than their face value. So, while metal money brought convenience and power, it also had its challenges. Up until the 11th century, bronze and copper coins had long been the go-to currencies. But as international trade expanded, lugging around these hefty coins became a cumbersome challenge. The ingenious solution? Trade transaction receipts. Around 900 CE, clever merchants began using these receipts to sidestep the weighty issue of carrying coins. Early Song authorities initially granted a select few shops the privilege of issuing these deposit receipts. In fact, around this time, far away on the Pacific island on Yap, the closest thing to gold was the massive and weighty race stone. Chiefs on the island made a groundbreaking decision. They mandated taxes to be paid in these monumental stones. Suddenly, these race stones became more than currency. They became universal, unavoidable, and firmly under the control of the chief. The most valuable race stones were so colossal that the Yap population didn't move them around much. Instead, they effectively traded promises. Imagine a trader who owned one of these stones issuing a promissory note against its value, a promise to pay. This marked the birth of banking on Yap. As time unfolded, the chiefs accepted these promissory notes instead of the actual race stones for taxes. A significant shift occurred. They relinquished control over the amount of money in circulation, the money supply. The promises and notes circulated, creating a dynamic financial ecosystem. Officially, it was the 1020s when the government took the reins, officially issuing these receipts as the world's inaugural paper money. Imagine the novelty, a tangible representation of value, no longer confined to the weight of metal coins, but instead existing as lightweight, versatile paper. And so the first paper money made its debut, marking a monumental shift in the way transactions and trade were conducted. A piece of paper now held the promise and power of currency. In 1816, England took a groundbreaking step by adopting gold as the standard of value. The concept was simple yet transformative. Each banknote represented a specific amount of gold. This meant that there was a direct link between the printed currency and a tangible, valuable asset. Importantly, this connection imposed a restriction on the number of banknotes that could be printed, injecting a sense of value and stability into the previously unbacked currency. The United States caught on to this idea and, by the year 1900, had embraced the gold standard with the enactment of the Gold Standard Act. This legislation solidified the connection between the U.S. dollar and gold, shaping the nation's monetary landscape. The gold standard era, while playing a crucial role in providing stability and value to currency, gradually waned in significance. By the 1970s, it had largely faded out of usage. Nonetheless, the impact of the gold standard echoed through the corridors of U.S. monetary history, leaving an indelible mark on the evolution of money. In the West, during the early to mid-Middle Ages, primitive banking professions emerged. Pawnbrokers, akin to modern pawn shops, started providing temporary loans in exchange for personal property. Then came the money changers, facilitating currency exchanges for a fee. At the top of the social hierarchy were the merchant bankers, wealthy citizens offering loans from personal or partners' funds. These banking routes, sprouting in regions like Venice, Florence, and Rome, gradually converged, giving rise to the modern banking system we know today. Fast forward to the United States in 1791, where Alexander Hamilton, the first Secretary of State, envisioned a national bank to stabilize the nation's credit. The Bank of the United States emerged as the pioneer, setting the stage for the intricate financial landscape we navigate today. Imagine a bank that pays you a little interest when you keep your money there, but charges more when someone else borrows from them. This profit-making game worked as long as not everyone wanted their money back at the same time. Then came the clever idea. What if the bank could lend out even more money than it actually had? This trick, called fractional reserve banking, allowed banks to loan out a bunch more cash, assuming not everyone would come asking for their money all at once. But here's the catch. Sometimes everyone did want their money back simultaneously, creating a run on the bank. This was a problem for the banks and even the whole economy. To avoid chaos, the government stepped in, ensuring people's deposits and helping banks keep on lending. As we fast forward to today, some banks took this idea to a new level. Instead of relying mostly on the money people deposited, they borrowed a lot from other banks. This got riskier, especially when the loans were tied to bundles of other loans. In 2007, we saw the trouble when a bank, like Northern Rock, couldn't give back all the money it owed. After the 2008 money mess, governments worldwide rushed to fix things. They talked about money in two ways: the money banks make inside the banking system and the money governments make outside it. When banks make money by giving out loans, it's like a cycle inside the bank. The bank gains something valuable, the loan, and owes something to the person who borrowed. Governments make money by selling bonds. These bonds are like new things of value. But unlike bank-made money, there's no direct owing involved. This outside money adds to the government's debt, but is just a small piece of all the money out there. This external money, played a crucial role in rescuing banks after 2008. Governments used it to buy up the bad private debts of banks, writing them off and injecting stability into the financial system. The private sector retained its wealth with new assets inside the system, backed by government support from outside the system, a delicate balancing act. The last remnants of the gold standard vanished in 1973, and the world continued to trade in U.S. dollars, despite lacking intrinsic backing. The U.S. government's decision to borrow heavily for bank rescue and stimulus plans flooded the market with dollars. Some predicted a decline in the dollar's value due to increased supply, but this anticipation hasn't materialized. The dollar's resilience sparks questions. Why does it retain its value? Perhaps, with a significant portion of the world holding wealth in U.S. dollar assets, there's a shared faith that the dollar will remain strong. As we peer into the future of money, we observe the shift from traditional minted coins and paper money to a digital realm. Only 2% of transactions now involve physical currency, thanks to credit cards and electronic banking. Emerging cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Linden dollars, and others challenge the traditional power of government-backed money. However, their true impact will be realized when governments and banks attempt to control them.